in college. I was in a relationship, and she used to actually like write me handwritten notes and like letters and all that stuff. But then I think I was just so emotionally underdeveloped to like read it and just not really like understand. Sometimes she'd be like, why don't you try writing me something? And I tried to one time. I was just like sitting there with a blank piece of paper.
Oh,
like,
I can only imagine the words flowing from him.
No emotions came up within me. Like all I could think about writing was like.
Welcome back to another episode of
J-Bro.
All right. Well, we've reproduced and we're now 4. Quick introduction. You guys might have seen John and Tim on our older videos, but just in case, this is my best friend from college, or one of my best friends from college, my old roommate.
This is my sugar daddy.
This is John, he's a consultant. This is Tim, he's visiting from Ohio. He's a lawyer. And yeah, we are going out tonight for Halloween festivities. We didn't just dress up like this for no reason.
Happy Halloween, by the way.
The topic of today, what do we talk about?
So today we're gonna be talking about guys talk about insecurities that girls might not know about.
Do they not know about them, or do they just not bring it up?
Maybe the things that we'll share will surprise the ladies.
We can talk from either personal experience, or we can talk on behalf of the bros. I'm sure that there are like umbrella things that
overlap between the genders. Did you guys have experiences with like emotional insecurities?
Can you elaborate? Like, give us an example of what that means.
Like, I think one thing that I've always struggled with is being vulnerable with the opposite sex, or like kind of exposing myself a little bit more and talking about my feelings. Like, I think that's something I definitely struggle with.
What are feelings?
Yeah. No, but seriously, like to an extent, that's definitely something I've had issues with. I mean, I remember distinctly there was someone I was talking to for 3.5 years. And at the end of it, she was like, I didn't even know how you felt.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And that like hit me because like, you know, what a terrible way to express myself throughout the duration, right?
Yeah.
So that's like kind of like an insecurity of mine, is like the inability to express myself completely sometimes. Whether it's fear of being vulnerable or what, I don't really know what it is.
Yeah. Or sometimes it's
something I can
awkward
improve.
because you're not wired that way.
Right. It is awkward, right? It's not something, at least between Johnny and I, our childhood friends, we talk about much growing up. You know, we talk sports or, you know.
But surprisingly, as like you have more interactions with female, at least in my case, I feel like I developed emotional maturity to be able to express my feelings better. Because at first it was so awkward, like, what do you want me to say? Like, when you ask me to talk about my feelings.
I feel good.
I feel good. I'm happy.
I'm hungry.
Ooh, that sugar sweet. You got what I need. Sipping on the potion. All that good emotion. Just my kind of heat. Keep it on me deep. Tested by the potion. Loving this devotion.
Yo, what are you doing?
Just took my InBody test.
What's that?
It's a scale that measures your body composition.
How does it work?
You want to see it?
Yeah, sure.
Have you seen an InBody scanner before?
I did at gyms.
Yeah. Most commercial gyms carry it. It gives you your BMI, skeletal mass, body fat percentage. I regularly get my scans to get my data metrics for my body composition, but now I can do it at home. Want to give it a try?
Yeah, sure.
But you're natural at this. And it's most useful to do this consistently so that you can track your progress. Most other models have only 4 electrodes on the feet. This one carries 8.
So it makes it more accurate. So where can you get this?
You can get it on Platform K for a limited time. You can get a massive discount on the InBody scale. Go give it a try.
Link in the description below. Why can't guys emotionally express like how they truly feel usually?
Stereotypically?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, is that like an insecurity that, hey, we have to be alpha male, no emotions, you know, dealt with a hard hand, just deal with it.
I think historically,
what is-
like the stoicism.
Is that the barrier?
Yeah.
Seen in like military men, like, oh wow, they're they've got it under control.
Like the whole macho guy idea.
Yeah.
I think that's starting to break down though. And
Yeah, I do
people are
too.
Appreciating the softer side and talking about this stuff. Even this podcast,
Right.
just in general, it's like us like 4 bros talking about stuff that they normally don't talk about.
This happened recently. I was in the elevator and there was a couple that walked in. And then they were having an argument, and the girl was like, "Oh, when you did this, it hurt me, blah blah blah." And then the guy responded saying that, "Can you just let it go? There were so many similar moments that I could say and go on, but I just choose not to bring it out because I feel like it's not necessary. Just let it go." I felt like so much frustration in the woman for her. Yeah, and she was like, "What?" Like she was like caught off guard.
Because that's not constructive at all.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of guys actually operate in this way. Just let things kind of go. It's like, oh, it's okay, you know.
Right.
Whatever, I'm cool. I'm a cool dude.
How comfortable are you guys talking about your emotions to your friends or to family or even partner?
I think for me personally, the only person I feel comfortable doing that with is my partner. Even with my own family, I don't think so. Or my friends, I usually don't.
That's such a big thing, I think, especially in Asian culture.
Yeah.
Especially guys, they don't really share. Now looking back, I was a very emotional kid. But then
you look kind of emo right now. with the hat.
As life happened, anytime I try to be emotional, it was like there was a negative reinforcement about like expressing my feelings.
Like you're weak.
Yeah, you're weak.
Is that just like an old school mentality where that idea comes from? Like, hey,
I think so.
men have to lead, men have to just power through anything that it's in their way.
Yeah, and instead of guys trying to develop like positive way to express their feelings, they just bury it.
They bottle it, like John was saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Burying it, you're dealing it by yourself. You're not burdening others. Therefore, you're controlling it. You're level-headed.
Yeah.
But the expense is under you.
Yeah.
I mean, on the contrary, if you were to go around reacting emotionally to every single bad thing that happens to you, then who's gonna really want to be around you?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like growing up, a lot of times I didn't want to tell my parents certain things because I don't want them worrying for me.
Right.
Like all of a sudden, their whole attention would be, hey, Tim's not upset with X, Y, and Z.
Right.
And I don't want that on them. They already have too much on their plate.
Yeah.
But you grow older, you do learn, I think, to draw that balance.
Yeah.
And you can be open with them.
Yeah,
and frame it in a certain way.
Yeah.
So I mean, perhaps that's one reason why we just don't express ourselves as much as we should.
Right.
And it's because like growing up, like boys are brutal to each other.
True.
It's true.
Whereas girls are more understanding.
Right. They ask about it.
Yeah, they're more sensitive towards each other's feelings.
Suck it up. Like
They suck it up as like the classic advice, like the advice that's given, right?
And then that translates to just like your life.
when we were kids, it was like a grow a sack, like grows balls. Like that was like a thing, and when people complained about stuff.
Yeah.
And now you say that you're just an insensitive prick.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Or anytime you complain, I feel like just growing up, at least in my friend groups, roasting is like a way of life.
Oh yeah.
You
you
see any little bit of weakness in one of your buddies, you just roast them, right?
It's like a rite of passage. You have to go through it.
And then as you grow older,
It's ingrained.
it's ingrained. But then you slowly realize after interacting with, I think, at least for me, interacting with females, it helped me break through like that.
I can't relate.
After that, like emotional callous. Yeah.
But you were open to that, which is good. I think a lot of guys still, even if they get older and have a partner, they're still guarded.
So being emotionally callous, I think, leads to a lot of frustrations in relationships.
For both parties.
For sure.
Yeah.
For both parties.
For
Especially like the people that you truly care about. Have you guys had those experiences where like your partners felt very frustrated?
Definitely. I would say in college, I was in a relationship, and she used to actually like write me like handwritten notes and like letters and all that stuff. But then I think I was just so emotionally underdeveloped. I would like read it and just not really like understand like the sentiment and the feelings behind it. Sometimes she'd be like, well, why don't you try writing me something? And I tried to one time. I was just like sitting there with a blank piece of paper.
Oh,
like,
I can only imagine the words flowing from him.
No emotions came up within me. Like all I could think about writing was like what was happening to me during the day. It's like, what am I going to eat?
Close the deal.
Played StarCraft with Ray and Tim for 7 hours.
Play Smash Bros.
Bench 235.
Legs are getting huge.
Can't wait to play Pong on Friday night. But that definitely led to a lot of frustration because she'd be like, I don't really know how you feel. I feel like it's kind of like unrequited as far as like my feelings towards you. And that's like frustrating for me too because I'm like, wait, what the heck? It's like I'm not trying to ignore you. It's like I just don't know how to express it. You're so like underdeveloped at the time. So.
So, like no ability to actually convey how you feel.
Yeah.
So they interpret it as, hey, this guy doesn't care about me. I'm just a side thing or second priority. But in reality, we're like, no, I actually like this person a lot. My words are just like tongue tied.
It's so true.
I've had that many times.
It's like women have very descriptive way of expressing like their experiences and feelings about you.
Yeah.
But you could say it's like, you're cute, you're beautiful.
I think that also relates to like having different love languages too.
That's true.
I think one of my love languages is
physicality.
And physical touch, definitely the top one. But acts of service is actually another one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that's just something that I learned from my parents growing up, and I don't know, maybe it's just innate within myself, but you know, I like to cook, so I would like cook meals for her, and that's kind of how I express myself. Like I'm like, I don't know how to say what I feel, right?
You just do it. Right?
Yeah.
Eat this chicken breast, but you'll know how I feel.
Or I just touch her and be like, isn't this enough? Like, doesn't this convey how I feel? Right.
It comes up in a lot of K-dramas too, or just love dramas in general. How like clueless or oblivious a guy is to all the little things that the girl does. And when we're younger, we're pretty clueless to all those little things that girls develop much quicker, or are, like you said, very calibrated to do expressively.
How can you overcome this though?
I don't know if it's an overcome it. I think it's just
Growth.
yeah, growth, and then just awareness, practice. Practice, practice. It's practice. So
And sometimes you get lucky in life meeting partners who help you.
Right, like I'm sure you learn from that example or that previous relationship.
For sure.
So you're more cognizant of things now in your current relationship.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
Which is why you're getting married soon.
Finding someone who, in a safe environment, allow you to be vulnerable and express your feelings.
Right.
And while being understanding without judgment.
Right.
Really, really helps.
I think that's why a lot of girls think it's a red flag if a guy hasn't dated before. I think.
Really? That's a red flag?
Yeah, if you've like never had a relationship before.
Huh.
At least
I didn't know that was a red flag, but
Oh, really?
I can see
I've heard
that.
I could see that.
Because it's like because they realize you learn through relationships.
You're
So
not
they
as-
have to teach you all.
Exactly.
Yeah,
They have to
I see.
teach
Never
you
thought
how to
about
have a
that.
relationship.
For someone who's more mature and has been through a lot of experience, I'm sure
To
that's
save a
huge
lot of
red
heartache.
flag. Yeah.
I see.
It's like, this man can't express his feelings.
Right.
I've dated 1,000 women.
It's like very therapeutic, calming to be able to express yourself.
Because it's something that we don't typically touch on.
Yeah.
It's like going into a place that's typically guarded.
Yeah.
It's like a weight off your shoulder sometimes
Yeah,
when you
yeah, yeah.
finally get it off your chest.
Yeah.
You guys insecure about crying? When was the last time you guys cried?
Never.
Been a while, actually.
It's birth.
I don't have tear ducts.
Been dried up.
Yeah, no, it's
that's
definitely
Probably the most raw.
that kind of relates to also like the macho man,
Right,
this,
right.
this
Yeah.
antiquated idea of
Yeah.
Being tough.
Wait, do you want to talk about how someone can start a conversation with like a emotionally callous person?
That's a good question, actually. That's a great one.
Yeah.
because there might be viewers
Yeah,
dealing
or like,
with an emotionally
hey, like,
callous person.
like I'm talking with someone
Yeah.
who's like John Chen. I'm writing him letters. What's the best way to break a John Chen?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I think that's a pretty good question,
Yeah.
actually.
I think you addressed it before, that if you create an environment that feels less judgmental and more
Well, let's
supportive.
be a little more
More direct.
specific, like
Yeah.
experiences where it's
Oh,
like,
I see.
when she did this or when this person did this,
Right.
I finally was able to be like this.
The thing is, you don't ever want to force it, right? I think it's also, to be fair to the guy, I think it's also important that if he's cooking, for example, or showing other ways of conveying his love language, that's just as important, if not equally important, as learning to understand his girlfriend's love language. Because he was doing his part in terms of showing the love language, it's just that she wanted a different kind of it, right?
He was doing what he knows best.
Right. If your guy isn't showing any sort of love language, then that just might be
That's just what we call a red flag.
yeah. So if he's not showing any signs of consideration or care, then, then what are you doing, right?
Yeah, that's true. So then it's more of an awareness of, hey, maybe he's not expressing his care for you in the way you're imagining or the way you want.
Right.
But you have to look for like the other signs.
Yeah, I think that's the first step. Ask him, what sorts of ways do you think that you express love I mean, we were even gonna make a video on love languages and how different people are about some
Yeah.
things. Because, like you said, like if it's quality time or if it's just physical touch, some people might find that to be like kind of like grotesque. Oh my God, he only wants me for sex. No, that's how I express my my love. Yeah, and then some people might be like, oh, he's just trying to buy me stuff instead of spending time with me.
Oh, I see.
You know,
Right.
there's so much miscommunication.
Yeah.
in
Right.
love languages.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think usually females feel the most close with their guy partner when the guy expresses his feelings, not when he buys them gifts or do things.
But I think that actually depends on the girl too.
Oh, but yeah, this is very general.
I see.
It's like often frustration with every girl that I've spoken to when talking about these topics.
I see.
I think one thing, like one way to break a college John Chen.
Yeah.
College John Chen. That's going to be a thing now. Yeah, that's a thing.
You grew up such a college John Chen.
Yeah, girls are going to be using
Girl, yeah,
that.
college CGJ.
CJC, dude. Such a CJC, that guy. So emotionally behind.
This is my personal experience. I think you asking your partner about their past and then have them just like naturally tell their story and then ask them like how they felt in the situations. I feel like that's like a really easy way to have someone like express their feeling and get them like more emotionally calibrated.
Oh, so that they can talk openly about something that doesn't pertain to you.
Yeah, exactly.
I see.
It's not like can you tell me how you feel? Like don't be frustrated because to be honest, guys are like what do you want to talk
Right.
about?
They want to be careful too.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And same with movies.
Yeah.
Right, you guys can talk about
Oh, yeah,
movies
yeah.
and how like you can relate to the character. You
Yeah.
talk about that.
Yeah. Ask him how he felt about specific moments
Uh-huh.
or experiences. And I think that's like a good segue into like actually get him to being freaking from CJC.
Dang, CJC.
CJC. Yeah, the dreaded CJC.
If you're dealing with a CJC, guys, my condolences.
Yeah, axe him as soon as you can.
I have a lot of patience if he looks like that though.
That's true, yeah. There's exceptions to CJCs.
If he looks like that, you can be a little bit patient.